Hello, beautiful, amazing YouTube. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate you coming together and holding space with me. We're going to be meeting with Sifu Bogi live on Instagram. So if you are interested in spiritual discussion and would like to join in the live discussion, please feel free to jump over to Instagram on my profile or Sifu Bogies. And otherwise, you're welcome to hang out in the chat, hold space, and enjoy a reflective evening of conversation. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Hi, Mona. It's good to see you, love. I'm so excited to meet with Sifu tonight. We are practicing the go with the flow. So every day is a beautiful learning experience. So grateful for every single learning experience we get to share. Yeah, beautiful. I'm just waiting for Seafood to go live on Instagram and then we'll jump over there. But you guys can feel free to drop in the comments. Let me know what you're grateful for today. I am super grateful for just the energy that flows through us all. I'm very grateful for the blessings that I get the chance to experience. Hi, Roots. It's good to see you, beautiful. We are waiting for Seafood to go live on Instagram. That is where the main chat will be. So if you guys want to jump over to Instagram, you can. Otherwise, you can hang out in the YouTube. It's still good. You're able to hear both sides of the conversation well. You just won't be able to see Seafood's handsome face. So otherwise, we're just saying what we're grateful for. Ruth, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all the spiritual support that we get whenever we reach out to one another. It's easy to get into a place of thinking where you're like, oh, I've got to be healed. I've got to do this or that. And then you lose track of, hey, I have all these amazing resources that are within a message reach to be able to focus on my healing and integrate that into my body. And so just encourage you guys to always reach out to family and friends, especially as healers, because it's absolutely so important that we heal ourselves as well. And there is no shame in asking for help. Yeah, right, Roots. Got to be open. Absolutely. It's Oh, hello, hummingbird. Grateful for all the synchronicities in my meditation. That's so amazing. Oh my goodness. I know, right? It is, and how funny too, because synchronicities have been coming out like crazy for me. I don't know like, it's good, but yeah, hi, hummingbird. Beautiful. Yeah, it's interesting. I was having a discussion with one of my coaches the other day about how it's just so important as healers that we reach out and heal. And it's like as a tarot reader, I'll have other tarot readers who are like, oh, if you ever want a reading, can I do one for you? And I'm like, absolutely. I love getting tarot readings. Sometimes you're too close to your own problems to see them for exactly what they are. And so when you have somebody else to be able to point it out and be like, no, you're actually looking at this with a slight bit of your own energy, then it's like, oh, okay, it's easier to see it from another person's perspective. So yeah, you feel like you've been going nonstop. Yeah, absolutely. Going to live. Yeah, awesome. See you guys on Instagram. I'm still waiting for Seafood to go live on Instagram. So, but he will be there shortly, I'm very sure. So I did not share the link to my Instagram though. So I'm Pinoak Rising on Instagram, or you can check out Seafood Bogey on Instagram as well. I'll be sure to put the links down below the video. So if you are watching this in the future, you can click the link down below and jump over to that recording as well. So I love you guys. I appreciate you holding space. I'm really excited to talk with Seafood tonight because I love energy conversations and anything that has to do with healing, and he does all kinds of great energy work. So I'm really excited. I don't know if we're going to talk about the Tao, but I'm okay with that as well. So Beautiful. Thank you guys for holding space with me. And yeah, what are you guys interested in talking about tonight? I'm just curious if you have anything in specific that you were looking for. I know energy is my main thing. Like somebody that works with Reiki, it's so important to have these conversations because it opens up the knowledge and stigma, I feel like, around a lot of it too. So super excited to see what we're going to talk about today. Awesome. Yes, it's going to be beautiful. So, if you guys would like, before Sifu gets on Instagram, we can drop into a bit of a meditative space and we'll connect with our breath. Hi, Lori. Thank you for. Oh, good, Lori. I would love to hear about your dream from last night. If you'd like to leave it in the leave it in the Discord channel. What your dream was, I would love to share. I love sharing dreams with you guys. Amanda, I'm just happy to spend time with you guys too. You all are seriously the best. So. And what better than to spend time with beautiful souls that make my heart happy. You know, I was thinking about it just earlier today, how truly blessed we are to be able to spend time with people that just appreciate us for who we are and understand us for who we are. And they're not trying to judge us or change us. Everybody just loves each other. And I think it's beautiful. So thank you guys for being divine reflections of love. It looks like Sifu Bogey is live, so let's join.
Yes, but we are here now.
Yes.
And let's just bring on.
Yay.
On your part.
Hi, Sifu.
But we're here now. So, hello and welcome to people. And this is the beautiful, the lovely, the wonderful lady herself. Is I know Rising. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Sifu. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, one of my ears. Can you hear me okay, or is it?
I can hear you better now.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, right. So, because normally when I do this way, it doesn't work as well. It's a little bit muffled in the ears. But if it's working, then cool. Otherwise, I can turn this off.
It is a bit muffled. If you have a better, that way the people on YouTube can still hear you as well, if you'd like. Hi, Maria. Oh my goodness.
Right, hello. Can you hear me now?
That's a ton better.
Is that better?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. It's going for this. It's a little bit quieter for me on the speaker, but I'll be being very close.
Oh no.
Close and intimate to hear you.
Absolutely. But better to see each other with
we've got
video.
new people coming on, which is cool, which is awesome. And I think you've got it. Have you got us on YouTube as well?
I do. So I've got a stream going on my YouTube so they can hear you speaking as well. And we are just going to go with the flow with our Yodas and happy times. So
I've got to find Yoda first. Where is he meeting?
Did we?
Where's finding you? There he is. So you have Baby Yoda.
Oh.
I have Papa Yoda.
Yay.
Sitting here on the side.
Good.
So well, let's do this both ways because obviously people can hear me on your one. So firstly, let me introduce you. So who are you? What do you do?
My name's Kristen Blair, Pinocchio Rising, and I am a Reiki practitioner, tarot reader, love spreader. That's what I do. And who are you?
Well, my real name is actually Paul Brighton, but most people know me as Sifu Boggy. Sifu means a guide, and means somebody who points you along the way, who guides you on your path. Bogi is actually my martial art name, and it's my spiritual name, my martial art name, and my healing name, and it means the balancer between the chaos and the calmness. And for the last 38 years, I've been studying the Taoist arts. Tao means the way, the path, the balance. And I have studied many different techniques, such as Tai Chi, Qigong, Tic Da, Tui Na, Chinese massage, reflexology, fire element theory and cooking, and many other techniques. And I use them in the roles of the Barefoot Doctor, which is one style of Taoist, the Dragon Dog Shaman, which is another style of Taoist, and there's a few more styles there hidden, lurking in the background, different ways to use these techniques. But my main goal is to help people reduce decades of chronic pain. It's one of the things I seem to be very good at with my students, with people who have had ME, MS, fibromyalgia, many other things, and also to help reduce their stresses and worries, and to ensure that they supercharge themselves and ensure they never burn out, which obviously is very good for people with fibromyalgia and chronic pain, but also for healers and life coaches and psychics and massage practitioners. One of my great tricks is, or one of my great records, is being able to do 18 hours of massage non-stop without getting tired because of because of qigong and the abilities of tapping into the energy I do. And one person said, "Boggy, you're like a human nuclear power station. You seem to be always churning out loads of energy." So that seems to be my thing. So I think that's a one or two thing. And about 5 hours of talking about it. But we're both connected to the awesome. Actually, he's not here yet. He normally appears out somewhere. The awesome Mystic Spider-Man. Brendan, Skull Babylon, as I know him as, I've always called him in the years, and we're both part of the mighty paradigm shift. And I mean, for my goal, with that is the network of paradigm shift is all about helping light workers, find ways of building up their ways to share their information to the world, to the audience. And I mean, I think that's you're all doing the same. And what got you onto this? Where did it all begin for you?
Seeking wisdom, seeking healing. I did.
The clever interviewer, flips it around, stops talking about him, and he aims it back at somebody else.
I love it. You caught me off guard, but I'm always ready for a good question. So, no, I love it. Honestly, my journey started with healing and personal healing, starting to realize that, I do have the ability to choose how I interact with the reality around me and not be overrun by it, that it's my choice every day to wake up and create with a healthy mindset and move forward from a place of love, as opposed to, being connected with the fear-based, reality that so many people experience. And starting from there, being able to be connected with all the other amazing outlets of wisdom that are out there that are connected with spirituality, like different modalities of divination or, energy healing. I love all of the multitudes of ways that we can, just by working with our energy and universal life force energy, that we can spread healing and share, a better reality with each other. And so that's kind of where it started for me, was just the desire to help everybody be able to see that, this life can be very beautiful if you just choose to align and go with the flow and create as you go and heal what needs to be healed and move forward from there.
I think it's a very poignant thing to it is. I think in our world we sort of think in the East, like they talk about a thing called about the golden pill, and the golden pill is that this belief that you do one thing, or you do one course, or you do one set of medicine, or you do one qigong class, and everything will be sorted, and everything's working, and everything's beautiful or wonderful, and the unicorns and fairies and Yodas are all there, and it's all awesome, and it's like. Is that, well, the hero's journey, if you read the book, or you've seen the book, The Hero's Journey, is that there's these, it's a cycle, it's a circle, but a circle continues, and it keeps going. And like the stories, like about using Yoda and Star Wars, but in that, is that originally in the original Star Wars, Luke Skywalker starts off as that young boy on his beginning journey, and near the end, he's wiser, but there's always more to do. And the biggest thing I think people don't realise, like shadow work and healing, is that there's always more level. There's always something else to do. There's always something to learn from, and it's one of the things I always say. Everything is your Sifu. Everything is your guide, your muse, rather than your master. You don't want to be tied down to something, because actually, when if you think that you know it all, and you think, oh yeah, I know everything, that's actually a restriction. And it's the thing of the monkey mind. Is that you actually have to be aware of that, and it's sort of I get not told off by certain people doing it, but it's why I say, hey, what do I know? Because the whole idea of it is that there's always more to learn. You're always the student, you're always the growing cup. And in the Eastern philosophy, especially as a barefoot doctrine, dragon or shaman, how they see life is that illness is blockage. Is that if you're ill, there's a blockage, and that's all this thing is. Don't run around like a headless chicken. Oh my God, something's wrong. But it's just clear the blockage, things start flowing again, and then it works. I can't remember. Oh, it's the Avatar, wasn't it? The Avatar cartoon. That actually, one of the cartoons had the chakras as these little pools, and he shows clear the blockage, and the pools start running again. And it's that thing of that, is that our life. So when you get into a down, and blockage is either physical, emotional, spiritual. In the Eastern philosophy, that emotions, and in the West we see emotions, and we don't want to talk about emotions, or we push them in with thoughts, but they actually see thoughts as spirit thoughts. So the thoughts you can have. The actual monkey mind is actually the forebrain. The forebrain, we have 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. That's known in psychology. There's 69,500 thoughts. So if you're living in your forebrain, if you're in the front, right, you're right up to the front of your nose, you get all these thoughts, and you're running around like a headless chicken. So this is why in Taoism they talk about breathing and drawing yourself back from the forebrain back into either the centre of the skull or back of the head, to pull yourself away from the forebrain. And they actually talk about being in the heart, and the heart is what they call the intuition. So Taoist thought or Buddhist thought or intuition. The angels, so like in the cartoons, the devil on one side, the angel on the other, where the devil's your forebrain, and the angel is actually in your heart. So being heart-based, which is a big thing nowadays, people talk about being in the heart, coming from the heart, talking from the heart. It's, we actually, that's through your feeling, if something making you expand and grow, that's a good thing, go with that. But if something's making you contract and get scared or worried, then it's not necessarily run for the hills, but, listen, but it's, this process for me is this big thing of everything's about balance, and balance is not a flat line. We see the scales in the West. We talk about balance almost like scales adjusted, and they're very much here and a straight line. But in the East, the balance is more like a wave. And you want little ripples rather than big, huge waves. But you still have those ups and downs. You still, you wake up and you're just a little bit, I feel a bit achy today. Oh, let's go and do some stretching and knock that out. I'm already worrying about stuff. Let's go and do some meditation. This is why with I know you run one of the days, but the meditations on paradigm shift. The whole idea of daily meditations. Wake up and do some meditation. That's an awesome idea. It's part, but I always try to get into people's heads. For me personally, everything is energizing exercise, that qigong, everything is meditation, and everything is stretching. Cats and dogs are notorious for this. You look at, the first thing cats do and dogs when they wake up, they do their yoga. They stretch. They do their yoga. Then at some point in the day, you see them sitting there staring into space. That's their meditation. And then other times, however old they are, at some point, they run around like a kitten or a pup. They have their mad half hour, as my deputy used to call it about our cat, Ginger, and that's their qigong. They suddenly come in this boundless energy, and in Taoist philosophies, you look at nature and look at the child to get guidance that that a child is the true seafood because they're still playing within nature. And what happens is, as a child, we get told off, don't talk to yourself. It's bad to talk to yourself. People will think you're crazy. And then we go to a psychic who talks to themselves. The imaginary things that we were told not to talk to, and or don't do this and don't do that. And we knock all these things down, and then desperately wish we could do them when we're adults. It's like, well, why have you stopped doing them? Just because the outside, the outside's got a beard, and doesn't mean I still can't be a child on the inside and learn to play and grow.
Absolutely.
So it's just understanding that being like a child again, would take responsibility like an adult, but be like a child. And the responsibility like the adult is that your problems can be solved. They're not something that they only chain you down because you give them permission, which is a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only controls you because you give it permission. Speaking of phobias control you because you've given it the power to control you. It's that fear. But phobias are, in essence, phobias show you the thought attached to a feeling which has a physical reaction, and that's what happens. But that's how you manifest stuff, just in a positive way. You want something, think about it. But you've got to think about it in a way that makes you feel really good and happy, and what would you do with it, and how does it make you feel, and that would eventually lead to physical actions. That's boggy tangents. They go all over the place.
No, I love it. There's been so much wisdom in there. I could just pick and pull. Breath work, so important. Absolutely. Like waking up and focusing on your breathing, using your breath to pull yourself into that centered space, and knowing that that's a tool that you can use anywhere, all the time. If you're overwhelmed or stressed out or overthinking, or even if you're really, really happy and just need to calm and find that center, focusing on that breath is so, so important. And I really like how you mentioned too about it's basically where your energy goes. If you send your energy to something, it's going to grow, because we're all energy beings. Everything that exists within this planet contains energy. And so, if you think about it that way, you give the energy, it's going to give back to you, whether it's positive energy, negative energy, or neutral. Whatever you do, there's always going to be a flow to it. So, and it is so powerful.
Well, there's two things on that. So, one of the Taoist philosophies about, they talk about, in this poem, they say worry, but it could be anger or frustration or stress or anxiety. So they say about worry, why worry about the past? It's already happened. There's nothing you can do. Why worry about it? Why worry about the future? It hasn't happened yet. And unless you've got a TARDIS, then call me up. Call me up. Let's go change the world. It says that if you're worrying about something you can do something about, don't worry about it. Do what you got to do. If you're worrying about something that there's nothing you can do, why are you worrying? There's nothing you can do. Worry leads to stress. Stress leads to tension in the body. Tension leads to illness, and illness eventually leads to death. So why worry? It'll kill you.
Yes.
And you know, it's a really fun, simple, but like I say, swap worry with, you know, anger or fear or uncertainty. You know, it's the same. It's the same thing. That eventually is that it boils down to a simple thing of, if you either do something about it or you can't. If you do something about it, don't overthink about it. Do what you got to do. If you can't do something about it, then then there's nothing you can do as such. You know, if you're in a corner, and you know, you've got wild dogs or the Yeti or you know, but a bad Yeti, not a good Yeti, but a bad Yeti, you know, something that's trying to attack you. Well, you either face it, you either face your fears and face it, or you can climb. You know, there's always an option. There's never not an option. That's the whole point. And then on the breath, there's this cool thing with the breath. It says that if your breath is fast, erratic, and shallow, your thoughts will be fast, erratic, and shallow. Your feelings will be fast, erratic, and shallow, and your actions will be fast, erratic, and shallow. But if you can make your breath slow and balanced and deep and smooth, your thoughts become slow, balanced, deep, and smooth. Your emotions become slow, balanced, deep, and smooth, and your actions become slow, balanced, deep, and smooth. So the whole beware of your breath, pay attention to your breath is that, you know, if you're holding your breath or, you know, if you're creating tension, is that's going to reflect into your emotions and into your physical body. So watching the breath, and then that's the whole thing, like they first say, let's pay attention to the breath, or, you know, let's focus the breath. And it's about slowing the breath affects the mind, the body, and the spirit. So it's a rare, and even to the point that one of the simple translations of Qigong is breath work, working with breath. And the true essence of Qigong is, a true Qigong is, as you breathe, you move with your breathing. So I breathe in, and I breathe out. And I breathe in, and I breathe out. And so when you time with the Qigong exercises, when you time it with your breath, it starts slowing you down and it starts affecting you. So a bit like Shaolin Kung Fu, what you can do is turn your everyday chores into a Qigong, which also at the same time becomes a meditation. So washing the dishes, you do it in a certain way, a bit like, you know, remember Cry Kids, you know, wipe on, wipe off. You wash the dishes in a certain way, and you're turning it into an energy exercise. But meditation simply, you don't have to sit cross-legged and go om or do the splits. Meditation simply means focus on one thing and forget everything else. So a meditation is just purely a focus. So if you love knitting, you're meditating. If you love reading a book and you get immersed in the book and you forget everything and you wake up and go, oh, or you know, you look away from the book and you go, oh, it's dark. You've actually been meditating. It's a form of meditation. So a lot of people meditate, but they don't realise they're meditating. And you know, it's doing what you enjoy. If that, you know, you get lost and you feel a lot better, and you stop worrying about the world, that is a form of meditation. The Qigong is just matching the breath with the movement, and then what happens, instead of becoming more tired, you actually become more energized. That's what Qigong is all about. So, hey, what do I know?
No, absolutely. Bringing the energy from the sun into your body is one of the best exercises. It's the only one that I know, but yeah, no, absolutely. I love the fact that meditation can be anything that you want it to be. It really can. But like you said, it's something you have to be focused on. You have to stay mindful while you're doing the dishes. You can't allow yourself to say, okay, I'm going to meditate and do the dishes. And then in your head, you're thinking about paying the bills or taking the dogs out or cleaning the bathroom, then you've kind of lost that concept of meditation while doing something. So, but it's more of like what you said, where you completely lose all of what's happening around you while you're focused in on that one thing. So I love meditating on painting. Yeah, it's one of the best.
And like I say, but the idea is, like I say, like, it's, for me, I'll tell you, well, cool, you can meditate while painting. Now let's turn it into a qigong. So it's just matching the breath as you're doing the painting. So you stir, but use the whole body and allow the body to move rather than very stiff. And then when you paint, almost like lift up and lift down. And because I've done that with a few artists, I actually taught them qigong, and I say, teaching you qigong will help you with your inspiration and will help, because a lot of qigong, a lot of artists will say, I get backache and whatnot. So, well, that's just, it's just poor posture. That and so we can correct that. But it's, and so I'll give you qigongs for that, because I got qigong for pretty much everything. But a true master, a true Sifu, turns their art into a qigong. So that's the whole idea. So like, when you paint, keep your shoulders relaxed and doing this, and the armpits slightly open, and that's the whole thing. Is that with qigong, I've used it with artists, with musicians, with lots of like different people. Yes, I can teach you exercises that will help you, but you do this. Let's turn this into a qigong. That, to me, is really, for me, it's fun. I can teach you qigong while I'm still asleep. I've done that once or twice. But I actually, you go, right, okay, let's see what you do. Right, this, and like being like Mr. Miyagi and doing let's turn this, do it this way, and relax the body and breathe. And they actually find that, when they sort of, but that's the whole thing. Everything can be a qigong. Everything can be a meditation, and even stretching. Is that just stretch yourself a little bit more as you're painting or as you're making. Allow yourself to move with the art you're creating. And there was this thing in Taoism that you had certain artists that would almost like dance around the paint, or would make these beautiful things, but because they were playing with the Tao. It's known as, and moving, and rather than being very stiff and very controlled, but you're creating this thing. When you open up and expand, your brush strokes expand, and all the movements expand, and you give more freedom. And I just wanted, like the other thing, there's one of my Sifis used to say, when meditating, don't be a mountain, not a swan. And what he means by that is that a swan is very graceful looking. So you're sitting there, cross-legged, lotus position, doing the splits, your head's around your ears. It looks all very cool, but in your head, you're still flapping away, underneath, graceful on top, and underneath you're flapping away. In your head, you're still worrying about the bills, has the dog ate the cat, and worrying about all this like stuff. And it's like, be like a mountain, which is still on the inside and the outside, but it's like gently moving. So in qigong, like meditation qigong, if you're going to stand there, you stand there, but there's a very, I'm exaggerating slightly, but there's a very slight, as you breathe in, you allow yourself to expand, and you breathe out, and you relax, and you find ways to allow that energy to flow and expand. And it's, and that's where like the hey, what do I know comes in, because it's like, never take yourself don't take your practice too seriously, don't take meditation too seriously when you get so caught up. It's there to help you expand, and expansion is play. Expansion, when you become serious, you actually contract and you start locking off. It's about allowing yourself to grow and flow.
Absolutely. Well, no, you absolutely do. Because whenever you move, you're allowing that energy to flow and go wherever it needs to. Whereas if you're staying still and you're taking your practice too seriously, or gee, I must meditate in this one position, you're building stagnant energy within your space and within your body. And so, absolutely, I'm really excited to try the qigong while painting because, yeah, absolutely, I've danced while painting before, but never with a intentional breathwork flow pattern to
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. That you can do it with anything, but the biggest thing is like because if you think that if your breath is shallow, like that poem, breath is shallow, fast and rapid, it affects your mood. But that works the way around. If you're stiff and aching, that affects your thoughts, and that affects your so you're putting into your paint, into your picture, you're putting stiff and aching. You're putting restriction. You're putting carry on, or you want to clear your mind. You want to allow the paint to flow, and if you're looking at if you're doing that sort of art where it's a landscape, well, that landscape is alive. How do you? And this was the great mystery of the great artist. How do you put action into a painting? I mean, obviously there's visual things you can do, but also it's that energy, that feeling of what you're portraying. And there's some great, like Picasso. Some of the greatest things is that his energy was actually in the paint itself. Is like the torment he was going through was actually in. When you look at that, you feel that energy, and you obviously right. So we know negative energies can be very strong, so it's very easy to do that. But how do you do that positively? How do you put that? And like I say, move and play and allow yourself to be relaxed. And again, then just like the breath, if you're relaxed and expanding and happy, then what you're painting will have that same energy. What you're doing will have that same energy. It does reflect. So I really honestly believe, because paintings are basically, in Reiki, we have Reiki symbols, and Reiki symbols are actually 2D representations of 5D energy, 5D vibrational energy, and it's the same thing. When you paint, you're trying to paint something that's 3D and beyond in a 2D image. So how do you do that? Well, like I say, you can learn all these skills on a technical side to make it visually, but it's also about how you're feeling. And because energy radiates outwards, through my teachers, I've always, when I look at paintings, I feel what the artist was going through. It's not just how they painted, what they painted, it's how they painted it, and the brush strokes. And when you see a slight change in the brush strokes, means there's a slight bit of tension, or something's changed. Something's changed. When the brush stroke changes, you're changing. So the way you move affects the brush strokes, and it's like learning. Well, I say nothing's just one thing, So for me, it's going into that deeper aspect of learning how to express yourself first, and then put that onto the canvas through the brush, because painting is very much like sword work. A lot of artists would actually, and vice versa, a lot of artists are actually trained with swords or certain weapons, spears, because when you're painting, it's that same movement, is that. And actually in fencing, there was a thing like they would actually do this like a slap, a little bit like slap, see, when you're slapping. So they would actually in fencing actually teach that way. They start off that because the hand actually controls the sword, and it's the same with the brush. The brush is a representation of your hand. So how you're moving the hand, how you're holding the brush, actually affects the brush and what you're painting. So teaching sword work will actually allow you to learn how to use the brush correctly, because and that's what they did with calligraphy. In the Chinese, is that the brushwork was so important that they would do other things to improve the brushwork. It's how you made the words was as important, or the symbols, how you made them was as important as what the symbols were themselves.
That makes perfect sense. It really does. I love that. It's so important too to talk about colors and the colors that we surround ourselves with, the effect that colors can have on your body, and within meditation as well, just being able to focus in on your do what?
Come back!
Oh no, did we lose connection?
No, I've got full signals. It's not me.
It might be me.
I think she's coming back.
I think we lost connection, sweet. I will, Sifu, if you are not seeing me anymore, I will jump off and connect back. Okay. Yeah, Sifu ended. Oh, we lost connection. That's okay. My internet has been doing that. That's okay. What a beautiful conversation about healing and energy, colors. Let's see if we can join back in.
Infinite peace, love, and compassion to all. Today on the 13th.
You know what? Look, this is temporary break. Listen to, go grab your popcorn or whatever. Wi-Fi. Let's do that, and then we'll connect to that internet because that is solid. Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you for the break to YouTube. Still been an absolutely beautiful conversation. I love sharing wisdom. Love sharing wisdom. And how beautiful of Seafood to allow us to join his live conversation and share wisdom. Awesome. Am I coming through, Sifu, or is it still?
I got some of that.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I think we're back on. Yeah, join, go live. I think we're.
And we're back.
Yay!
Yay. Right. So we got to. You just started to talk about colours. So colours in. So please continue.
Yeah, no, just talking about how colors can affect in your paintings. They can also help express the emotions and the moods that are going on. But I'm truly so excited to try putting the emotions within my energy within a painting. I've never tried that, so that'll be a fun adventure. But allowing yourself to accept too that like the colors you place around you and within your surroundings, the colors you wear, that you dress and create a certain energy all of their own within the spaces. And so I know I work with colors a lot within trying to express that energy and movement in that area as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's, through my seafoods, I've done lots of interesting things. There's this show can go off in so many tangents with the amount of things I've done. But there was a lot of case studies back in the 80s, 90s, especially on colour, and the vibratory energy of colour and what it does. So it's not a woo-woo thing. A lot of people, I'll colour it. No, there's a lot of science there, and even in psychology, I spent decades studying psychology, and they know the psychology of colours as well. But energetically, there's a vibrant energy within the colours that will affect you. It's actually what the whole thing. Now, this is a Tibetan chakra flag. This is why it's got the Tai Chi on the top, and it's actually got a dragon because in the east, it's not seen for the Kundalini. put that bit of information in there. Kundalini, a lot of people see it as two snakes, but in China, in the East, it's a dragon. It's a dragon that rises. The dragon starts off down in between your legs, and it rises up to heaven. But there's actually an energy that comes down, the pillar of light, or the busting channel in the Eastern philosophy. But it's also called the pillar of light, which is actually called the Jedi. The Jedi, the pillar of light. The keepers of the pillar of light. George Lucas was using secret information. Let's just say that. But yeah, it's actually known as, in Egypt, the Egyptian Taoists, there was a group of them called the Jedi, and the Jedi were about the pillar of light, this beam of light that comes down. But lots of ancient cultures know about it. But this whole thing of the colours, these colours actually represent emotional moods, because the chakras are actually based in the ancient system, a bit like in our bodies we have bones and blood vessels and tendons and yes, the fascia. That's what I was going to mention earlier, because you said about light. I'll maybe mention that in a second. But in the ancient system, they talk about the meridians, which are the closest energy channels to the body, which science detected around about 15 years ago now. The Russians, those Russians, they find everything. The Russians found, they created a machine called I think it was the bioelectrical lines, the channels that they found. And at the big conference when they were showing it off, there was apparently a couple of Chinese doctors went and said, "Oh, you mean these?" And they showed the meridian map, and it's like, yeah, we found them 2,000 years ago, sort of thing. So you've got the meridians, then you've got the chakras, and the chakras govern more the emotional energy. Then you've got the aura, which is also in Christianity they call it the light, or is the aura, and then you have the Merkaba, the triangle pointing down, triangle pointing up, or Star of David, as it's sometimes also known. That is the divine masculine energy. A Metatron's cube, that's the divine masculine. In the East, it's called General Quan. General Quan is the divine masculine protector. And then you've got the divine feminine, which is the Torah field, the donut, which is a bioelectric magnetic field that's in the heart, they know of, that expands, and they've done many experiments with that. And that's also the Torah, or the flower of life, represented as well. And that's Kuan Yin. That's the representation, or the guardian of that is Kuan Yin, or Mother Mary within Christianity. But the chakras, these different base colours, they represent different vibrational tones or frequencies, and hence what Reiki symbols actually are the tones and frequencies. And so wearing a certain colour will raise you to a certain frequency. And I've always found it very, very interesting and cool that green, so it's the heart chakra, and yet in the West we sort of say green as envy. We sort of made green a negative colour. But when you look at the Earth's full of green. If it's not blue, it's green. The ocean and then the grass and the trees, and so green is very much the heart color. The heart chakra is the heart color. To the fact that one of the favorite colors, or one of the favorite stones in China is jade, and Kuan Yin, divine feminine goddess or priestess, is jade is her color. You also have the jade tantra, and that is the priestess, the jade priestess, and so colors are very important. So yeah, wearing what color that you have around you, or even sort of not necessarily, you having coloured lights, not necessarily obviously on you, because then that would distract you from, but having, like in the borders around you, colour, or even a coloured coloured candles, and having, so you want a certain mood, is sort of understanding the moods of colours, and colour therapy, that can also affect your art as well, and or the certain pigments, you can use certain pigments that contain, that do certain things. And there was, I did remember something else. There was a guy that I knew there was a girl I actually knew who crushed crystals and put crushed crystals into her paint. And her paintwork actually had, because there's a guy, I used to have a guy, it's around here somewhere, I have a few shirts that have crystal infused ink. So the shirts actually contain crystals inside. And one of the biggest ones I've got is a hoodie, which has got the flower light on the back, and it's got like the Tai Chi symbol and what's called the bakwa on the front. But it's got crystal infused ink. But this girl did that, but with paint, and she put crystal in, and so in certain light there was a light, it looked like a little bit sparkly, but there's actually crystals in her paintwork, and so there's an idea for you.
No, that's incredible. That's absolutely beautiful. I love utilizing crystals for all kinds of healing purposes. How great to be able to include it in your painting too. Wow.
Yeah. It's this thing of the organ. So the organites, which are these, is you have crystal and metal, in like a silicon. Is that actually you could act? I mean, they might not be the cheapest at first, but if you find somebody who loves doing them, actually have organite frames. So you could actually have an organite frame for your painting, so you'd have this energy around it for the rest. So you get all the ideas. Dallas Muse, I'll throw all these ideas out. Here's another one for you. But there's so many ways to energize. Energize the paintings and energize you, or even find a way of either make an organite painting stand, or on your painting stand have around you organized in crystals, and again you get the energy of those crystals. Different crystals obviously do different things, and with the organites you can actually have them create a little sacred area. And just two more things. When you paint, if you make it sacred, as in you do yourself a little ritual, and a little blessing, thank you very much for what I'm about to paint, and when you finish, thank you very much for what I painted. When you make it sacred, again, you're adding that energy, because sacred doesn't have to be a church. Sacred doesn't have to be something religious. Sacred is whatever you truly love is sacred. It's this moment right now is sacred to me. So it's making, and it's this is how we change the world. This is how we change our environment. This is how we find our balance or raise our vibration, by doing things that do that. And that's the last thing for now in a physical body is that underneath our skin there's a thing called the fascia, and the fascia is almost, I'm not saying you're an orange, but it's almost like orange pith. It's a very thin layer of like muscle fiber, almost like muscle fiber that's inside the skin. But and it covers the whole body, and it actually, when you relax and move, it actually affects the whole body. But what they found within that fiber, within that fascia, is light. That the body actually sends light all the way through. So when we say we are light beings, no, you really are a light being. The light, that fascia, when it's relaxed and you're flowing and moving, light flows through your body, energy flows through your body. So it's like, don't just hear those words, oh yeah, I'm a being. No, you really are a being of light. And when light needs to expand and flow and be relaxed, so do that, and your light body will do the same.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important that we move our energy and allow the kinks that happen in our energetic field to be smoothed and opened, so that way the light can flow through our bodies, allowing us to move in ways that we are supposed to move, allow the energy to be whatever it needs to be in the moment, but healing. So thank you, Sifu, so much for all the amazing wisdom you have shared. I'm so excited to be able to paint some interesting things I'll be sharing with you guys for sure. So always love new tools.
I've been looking forward to seeing what you can create with, that sort of, idea. And this is what we need to do. We need to find ways to play again, to be children in an adult way. Is to learn. And like I say, if you're moving, you're healing. If you're stiff and you're stagnant, so it's understanding that we need to get up and we need to do stuff. We need to move. And I know I get, like I say, I had lots of students and friends with fibromyalgia and ME and MS, which really wants you to go the other way. But find something, just go for a little walk, go for a swim, put some music on, have a little, jig, even in the seat, even in the bed, dance in the bed, and that will activate your energy and move. I really do think that's a really important thing.
It does. It absolutely does. I know on the days when I wake up and I feel stiff, or maybe I'm not in a great mood, I turn on the music, I get my body moving, and within, I'd say 10 minutes, I'm already feeling better, so absolutely.
All good. It's all good. Okay, well, it's been a great pleasure having you on. You're happy to come. Like, I'm going to try to do these. Like last night, I'd been up from about 4 o'clock in the morning, I think, and I fell asleep. So there wasn't a show last night because I fell asleep, and then I missed Paradigm Shift as well. So hey ho, it is what it is. But yeah, that I'm trying to do these as many times as I can during the week. I know I actually have I've got my phone on, so I can't actually look. But Pisces Psychic, she will be on next week. I think it's Tuesday. Yes. Now I'm getting the old brain mass of the work. It's Tuesday, so she will be on Tuesday. And yeah, like I said, I would love you to come on. Whenever you're free, let's come on the list, because we've only we haven't even we've done the tip of the iceberg. There's so many things that you and I can talk about.
Absolutely.
So it'll be really, really cool. So what I'm now going to do, you can shoot off if you want to. What I'm going to do is turn the camera slightly, and I'm going to set up and do a little bit of qigong before we wrap up for the night. Because I always think that's one of the things I do and one of the things I like, and I think you guys should do a little bit too, and it's not too strenuous.
All right, let's do it.
The student just do. So, and then I can just. Oh, there she goes. Go, girl. So, okay, right, okay. So, Taz in the corner. Always know where your Taz is. That's for Yoda. There we go. Yoda and Taz sitting in the corner. So, right, so if you can stand, that's awesome. If you can sit, try to sort of move back your seat, try not to hit your arms on the arms of the chair. But if you can stand, that'd be awesome. Shoulder width stance, enough space to swing your arms. It would be cool. And then pull your bum in as much as you can. Keep your bum pulled in, because this opens up the hips, the quad. It improves circulation in the legs. For women, it helps with menstrual cycle. It helps, and we'll do another exercise that helps with that in a minute as well. But this is a really good exercise. The 2 exercises I'm about to do are really good for before you go to bed, and they're really good for when you get up in the morning. So, pulling in the bum, flat the floor, bend your knees, and your belly button to your nose. You want to turn to the left and turn to the right. Turn to the left, turn to the right, and keep your bum pulled in as much as you can. I have done this one on YouTube. If you look on YouTube, Stephen Boggy, for Willow Tree Qigong, I think that's something like 10,000 hits. It's a very simple exercise, but 5 minutes of this every single day for 6 to 9 weeks can dramatically reduce headaches, can reduce tension in neck, shoulders, head and back, can help IBS stomach problems, can help with general aches and pains. And there's a few other things you can do. And like I say, 5 to 15 minutes every single day for at least a couple of weeks will really, get this working, really build up. If you struggle to sleep at night, or you want to actually improve like your lucid dreaming, again, do 5 minutes of this before you go to bed, and the other one that I'll teach in a second, and also then do it in the morning. And of course, we were talking about the more you relax, the more your energy flows. Well, that's what happens when you do this exercise. It makes you more relaxed. It's like giving yourself a massage, and you actually sleep better. So that's the whole idea. So keep that bum really pulled in best you can, turning the belly button upwards, belly button to nose in line if you can, turning to the left and right. Don't force the arms. You're not doing this. You're allowing them to totally flop, just like a toddler. Like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to eat pee. So, or whatever. So, we'll do it for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then in a second, when I say, I want you to stop your waist from turning, and allow the arms to flop until they stop. So again, you're not suddenly stopping it, you're just allowing it, just like a willow tree, blowing in the wind, and then the wind stops, and the willow branches just gently come to a stop. So 3, 2, 1, and just stop the waist from turning. Now the arm just to flop to the stop. Then once they stopped, just breathe and bring your hands up towards your face. Turn the palms outwards, breathe out, push out to the side, and this is called a change. We'll do another 2 of those, so breathe in. Palms, push outwards, breathe out, push out to the sides. And one more change. Awesome. And that's willow tree qigong, and a change. And we'll do one more exercise. Rub the hands together. Don't miss the Aggie. Place your rubbed hands onto the smalls of your back. So palms facing your back. Breathe in. And breathe in that energy into your back and your kidneys. And as you breathe out, bring your hands back and rub them again. And breathe in. We do this 3 times. 3 is the magic number. One more time. Breathe in. And this time, keeping the hands there, do a big circle with the waist. So you're drawing a big circle with the waist. And then with your hips, as you go back, stick your bum out. And as you go forward, pull your bum in. So stick your bum out when you go back, and pull your bum in when you go forward, while you draw a circle with the waist. And this is called spiraling hip qigong, or hula hoop. And when you do hula hoop, this is sort of what you do. So you stick your bum out, pull your bum in, and that motion keeps the hoop up. So circling the hips, or hula hoop. So again, now this works on massaging the internal organs. It strengthens the kidneys and the lower back. It can help lower back pain. It can help sciatic problems. It can help knee problems, ankle problems, balance problems. It can help balancing blood pressure as well. One of the exercises can help balance blood pressure. So it's a good exercise for people in general. It's a good exercise, especially coming to your time of month. Spending a good 5 minutes doing this is a really good exercise. Do it one way so many times, then do it the other. And it helps the uterus, and it helps the ovaries, especially at the time of month. So it massages the internal organs and massages that area, and for a woman especially. And for a man, it's good anyway, from the back, and for the man's sexual organs to a degree as well. So we do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you could spiral it to stop, or just for now, we'll just gently come to a stop and then go the other way. And we'll do a few this way. And again, it's just a nice, smooth, gentle exercise You can do it outside. You can do it inside. You can do it watching the telly if you really want to. Or has music on and just almost close your eyes and just gently circle around. And again, it's a bit like playing with the body, allowing the body to move and circle. And these two exercises, actually, Kristen, are the ones I taught some of the painters. These two, and then a couple of other exercises as well, just to get them relaxed for painting or relaxed for doing sculpture. So, and one other thing, try not to. You don't want to bob your head up and down. You want to try to keep the head as still as possible, and it's actually coming from the hips. And a little joke, one of my teachers would have a metal bucket on a bit of string, and I'd put my head in the bucket, and if my head was moving too much, I'd be hitting the bucket and you'd be making a lot of noise. So you're moving your head too much. So another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back to the center. That's it. And then change. And then shake off, shake your hands, shake your legs. And I hope you enjoyed that. It was just a quick little bit of Qigong. And I do that almost, Monday to Fridays. I do that every night, a little bit like that. And we have a chat as well. So thanks all for having you on the show. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, Sifu. I really appreciate it. My body thanks you too, and absolutely look forward to seeing you again as well. Have a bright, beautiful evening, sweet soul. Thank you for all the wisdom shared.
Well, it's a great pleasure. I'd like to say, great pleasure to hear you and to talk to you too. So that's it, guys. Until next time, until tomorrow. Love, Chi and Shen says goodbye from the wonderful, the awesome, the beautiful, the absolutely amazing Kristen and Pine Oaks Rising. Pine Oaks Rising?
Pinoak.
Crazy.
I
keep wanting to say Pine Oaks, but yes, Pine Oaks.
Thank you.
And then for myself, Steve Boggy, so guys, until next time, it's goodbye from this lovely lady, and it's goodbye from me. So bye for now. Love, Chi and Shen. Until next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, you too. That was so lovely. I hope you participated in those exercises. If you didn't, please feel free to check it out and on the replay and give those exercises a try. My body feels super good. So thank you all so much for holding space and listening to that amazing wisdom. Thank you so much to Sifu Bogi for sharing some wisdom and a little bit of Qigong, some exercises for you to feel better within your body. And I just send you all the beautiful blessings for the evening. If you'd like to connect further with myself or with Sifu, please feel free to check the links down below the video. And I will see you all next time. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Bye.